Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Well, I really wanted to make this video because I think it will help my grieving process that I've had to process. Literally, it just happened in April 2024, April 29th, 2024. Um, my father had passed away of pancreatic cancer. So this is what I've been doing to continue to press on, really, because it's been a really tough journey for myself. Um, I want to really, I'm not going to make any claims or anything like that. I want to share with you guys my experience, how I dealt with my dad because I was a caretaker for my father during his time. This is a very emotional video for me, so um, it's I feel like I haven't been able to get out everything that I wanted to get out, and honestly, it's been one of the hardest battles I've had to fight this year. Um, and it's sad, and I like to quote this too, and understanding that lean on to your understanding that God, can surpass anything that is going on in your life. Cast your cares onto Him because He cares for you. But anyways, I wanted to give a scripture about that, but also I want to tell you guys what I really think about what, I feel like my dad's oncologist did and what I really believe should have happened. Um, my dad's oncologist, she was the first time I had looked her up. I looked her up because I had a friend and he had told me about her, and he had said that she was very good at treating cancer. Now, I had did a lot of research. I did hours and hours of research about this, and also I contacted the pancreatic network place that support people who have pancreatic cancer. Another thing that I want to really suggest to people is that in any stage, first, second, third, fourth, whatever stage you are at in your cancer treatment, make sure you always ask questions. Because the biggest thing that you could do to disappoint yourself is not to ask questions when they need to be answered. That's the first important thing. The second thing is it's important to understand that during a time as difficult as it was for me to have to see my father go through hell, just dealing with doctors, and it was very emotional. And I think at the end of the day, I know that a lot of people, because I've talked to a therapist, and they said I did the best that I could do in that fact of treating pancreatic cancer, because my dad had the last stages of pancreatic cancer. I want to really highly suggest that when you find any type of cancer doctor, I don't care if it's breast cancer or cervical cancer, whatever it is, make sure that you are have a very good relationship with that doctor. And make sure if you are thinking about doing surgery, make sure you ask the questions of how long have they been doing surgery? Um, what makes them, you know, what makes them a good surgeon? How long have they been doing this? And what are the side effects? What are the pros and cons to this surgery? The likelihood, chances of survival, is the likelihood a good thing or a bad thing? A survival? Those are very important questions to ask when you are dealing with cancer. Another thing I would suggest for a lot of people to do is, you know, remember that when you're going through a crisis situation, as I did myself with my father, to for me, it was, I knew I had in my head for many, many times when he did treatment, I thought to myself, you know, is this really what he needs? I had a nurse saying that they contacted me and then you know, I hate how doctors nowadays, they don't give enough time to a patient. And during the time that my dad had his cancer treatment, his doctor decided to go on vacation. Make sure that you have a doctor who really cares about you. Any doctor, any good doctor would want their patient to have hope. And that's, clearly in my head. This is the reason why I decided to get into the medical field as much as I did, was because I knew that as a caregiver, especially a caregiver when I had, my mom had crisis and I tried getting her out of the mental health hospital and things like that. Understand that whatever you're doing, and I notice a lot of doctors tend to do this a lot, is that they don't care enough about their patients. They disappoint their patients by discouraging them to not seek treat other types of treatment, which she clearly did. And she told me she didn't know how many other chemo treatments. A good cancer doctor is going to ask you any question that you have. It should be clear and direct to that patient. And if you're not getting those answers, you're not getting those, good, clear clarification type of answers, then what you need to do is you need to go ahead and get a referral to see another doctor, seeing a second opinion. Because I hate it when, doctors, again, a doctor's job is to give hope to their patients. If you're working at a hospital, if you're working at a clinic, whatever it is, if you are a good doctor, I don't care what type of specialty you have in, you are there to make sure that a patient's well being is better than what it was before. That's your job. And clearly, directly, when I asked her these questions, she did not know what to say and how to say it. And I asked her, I said, what are the pros and the cons and things like that? And then she went ahead and showed me pictures of my dad's CAT scans and his his tumor and things like that. These are very, very important things to do. If I read on a website that if cancer, if you're get a good surgeon, make sure they have years of experience. Make sure they have that they know how to do these type of surgeries, and like what I was looking up, surgery, the procedure and things like that, which some people know about, other people's don't. Remember that when you are seeking help, and that's clearly what my dad needed at that time, because during his first and second chemo treatment, he was just not himself anymore. So I want people to understand, I have gone through a lot with my family. Anybody that knows me personally knows that I went through a lot with my family. And I never thought that I would have to see the day to when my father was going to pass away. I think that that would be the hardest thing that I have ever experienced in my life is losing a loved one. And and clearly everybody has to pass away eventually, but that's for a whole nother story. But I just feel like it's important that we support people that go through these type of treatments. It's important to do your research, and it's also important that people get the support that they need, because clearly my family did not get the support that they needed. I've called around home health services. I don't think my dad ever wanted to be on hospice care. The end of life, he just wanted to die peacefully at home, and which he did. And so I want people to say, here to know that it's important to really, weigh out your options and keep fighting the fight, because throughout many things in my life, death has always been the hardest one for me to accept. And I think it goes back to the story of Adam and Eve, and how, Adam ate the apple, and, sin entered into the world, and, things like that. And so ideally, I never, ever would have pictured my darkest times of my life where I had to go and seek help and not get what I was looking for. And it clearly hurts people when somebody's hurting and in pain, and you're going through all these type of emotions, and emotions that you cannot control, because at that time it's feeling like chaos. It's feeling like a crisis moment, to where you're not even able to understand and comprehend whatever happened. So I want people to understand that in anything in your life, and you want things to look better and to feel better. I mean, we all want to feel good about ourselves. At the end of the day, we all want love, we all want acceptance, and we all want, joy in our lives. But like I said, death for me was never like, I don't really ever talk about those things. And when you hear about life insurance, and burial costs and things like that, that's really all I think about mainly when I think about death. But not just the cost per se, but like, I think it's important that, for me to have to tell my son about grief and death, it's hard for him, because he's not going to be able to fully process it. As an adult, I have a hard time processing it already as it is. And when you think about a child, children don't process, they're not able to understand that, because their brains are not fully developed yet. So I say that in all to say, it's important to really, have a good relationship with your doctor. Make sure you get your questions answered clearly, and hopefully that gives you hope to really, survive. We all want to have a good, healthy life, but in the end, make sure that you always ask questions. Don't ever leave the office or wherever you plan on going get treatment. I mean, I've even thought about holistic doctors for my dad, but it just he passed away so soon that I didn't even have the chance to do what I really wanted to do. And I was on the phone, and I was doing video chats with people who had like conquered stage 4 cancer, and I was getting all my hopes up to say that, my dad could get past all this. And I was wanting to make sure that he was doing what he had to do to fight this cancer. So, I mean, it really hurts a lot when you're not able to get what you want, the results that you want, because of course that makes everybody disappointed. And we are all human, so don't expect for these things to always, it hurts when things don't work out the way you want them to. But I clearly, did all that I could to make sure that, my dad survived from this cancer. But anyways, I want to say thank you to the Pancreatic Network support place. They have been nothing but they gave me hope during the time that my dad was fighting for his life through cancer. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it really helped me because I hadn't been able to really get it all out the way I needed to. So I decided to make this YouTube video just for that purpose. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until then, have a good one.